In the latest Logic 10.8 update, Apple has brought us AI for mastering and now pitch correction. I'm also going to do some A/B testing against Antares Autotune and also going to show you how to turn a vocal from this
Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul e rece, văd doar.
into this.
Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul e rece, văd doar poza de pe birou.
Hey, what's up everybody? This is Fabio from Noize. Welcome to Boombox, the home of collaboration. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I released a video on the Logic AI mastering tool. So if you want to check that out, there's a link above here. You can go watch a full tutorial on how it works and plus then have a go at A/Bing it against my pro mastering chain. In today's video, we're going to do something very similar. We're going to take the Logic pitch correction, which comes free with Logic, and compare it to the very famous Antares Autotune. I asked my followers at Noize London if you could provide me with a vocal for this video, and you submitted it to me via Boombox. The one I chose is called Night Call by Vlad. And I want to let you know here and now that we give away free mixing and mastering every single month, sometimes twice a month. So go follow us on Instagram. Link is in the description below. And if you submit your track and it gets chosen for a video, you do end up getting a free mix and master and professional feedback. So thank you, Vlad. Let's start by taking a listen to the raw vocal.
Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul e rece, văd doar poza de pe birou. Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul e rece, gânduri nu mă lasă să dorm.
So it's got this cool sad boy vibe going on. It does need some processing to bring it up to scratch. And what I like to do is I like to process the vocal before it goes into the auto-tuner. So I started with some EQ, rolling off the low end and dealing with those S's, which were quite harsh. I feel like this is as a result of potentially the microphone being quite cheap. Listen to the difference.
Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul e rece, văd doar poza de pe birou. Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul e rece, gânduri nu mă lasă să dorm.
So cleaning up some of the low end where there's a big build up here. This is probably due to the proximity to the mic as well. The closer you get to a mic, the more low frequencies it actually picks up. The further away you get from it, the less of that intimate vibe that you get. That's a microphone recording technique that you could also try in the future. Next, I use a limiter, which I quite often use on vocals, and that's just to catch some of the peaks before it goes into the compressor. So again, sometimes when you're using less expensive equipment or mics, it doesn't do as good a job as absorbing the transients, and sometimes the performance is a little too inconsistent. This doesn't mean that it's a bad performance, it's very normal. I get a lot of vocals like this, so I tend to use a limiter to add a little bit of control here.
Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul e rece, văd doar poza de pe birou.
You can see there we're barely shaving off anything. There are some moments later on in the vocal where it does a little bit more work, but this is very, very, very subtle. Next, we've got the Pro C2. Now, I've actually set this up to sound like the Waves RVox. I will do a video of this on my Instagram, so go and follow me in the link in the description below. These are the settings that I'm using, and it gives it that nice upfront feeling. So it brings the vocal all the way up, feels like it's expanding a little bit, and it's very, very natural.
Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul e rece, văd doar poza de pe birou. Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul e rece, gânduri nu mă lasă să dorm.
After compressing it, it definitely brought out a lot of the S's, so we're using a de-esser to deal with those. Now, I tend to do multi-band compression on vocals early on in the chain, but for me, I needed to correct other places first before I started compressing the different frequency ranges. Now, multi-band compression is a great tool when you want to compress, let's say, only 200 to 500 hertz, because for whatever reason, maybe that's just the recording, the style of the vocalist, that range might need more compression than the entire signal. So the Pro C2, this is compressing everything from 0 hertz to 20,000 hertz. Whereas with the multi-band compression, I can actually select the frequency band. So here we've got from 78 all the way up to 500 hertz. And then the next band is from about 500 to 1800, 1800 to 7,000 and 7,000 to 18,000. So we've got the lows and the low mids. Then we've got the mids, and high frequencies. So listen to this band. That's what we're compressing. If I turn this on and off now, just for this section, listen to how out of control the low frequencies sound.
Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul rece, văd doar poza de pe birou. Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul rece, gânduri nu mă lasă să adorm.
So it's very resonant in that area. I know it makes the vocal very thin, but that's what I wanted in style with the rest of the instrumental. I'm not really doing any compression with the mid frequencies here, a little bit with the high mids where there were some resonances coming through.
Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul rece, văd doar poza de pe birou.
And then up here, I'm using a lot of compression, again, to deal with those S's.
Văd doar poza de pe birou.
And I'm able to get this nice focus in the mid-range of the frequencies, which is what I want. And that gives me a great starting place, a nice, even, well-recorded, or now it sounds like it's really well-recorded vocal, and I can head to the pitch correction. Anyone who used Logic's previous pitch correction will probably be quite familiar with this. So at the top left-hand corner, you input your root note. So I'm putting F. We are in the F natural minor scale. There's all these scale options here. It seems like they added a lot more scale options than what we had originally. This then changes the notes. So you'll see if I change to like C, it will then change the tuning, what notes it's going to tune to. I'm going to stick to F, of course. We can edit the scale as well. So we can add or remove notes. We can bypass the notes, and we can actually bypass all of the notes at the same time. What Logic has added, or what Apple have added, is the neural pitch detection. Now, they claim this is an AI which helps decide which notes should be tuned to what, and it gives it a more natural sound. Now, before I play it, it's important to know that I've actually made the response time 0.0 milliseconds because I'm looking for that auto-tune effect. I want it to sound unnatural. However, we might still notice a difference between the neural pitch detection and the normal pitch detection with a response this fast.
Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul rece, văd doar poza de pe birou. Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul rece, gânduri nu mă lasă să adorm. Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul rece, văd doar poza de pe birou. Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul rece, gânduri nu.
To be honest, I can't notice a massive difference. Let's play around with the response and the tolerance. So the response is how quickly does the auto-tune tune the note. The quicker it tunes it, the more you get of that unnatural effect. The slower it is, the more natural it will sound. Then we have tolerance. Now, tolerance is how much it will allow the note to go out of tune. So if the note is slightly out of tune, is it going to allow it to bend upwards or downwards in sense? Sense being the notes essentially in between the standard notes that we get on the piano. Kind of like when you pitch bend a string on a guitar.
Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul rece, văd doar poza de pe birou. Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul rece, gânduri nu mă lasă să adorm. Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul rece, văd doar poza de pe birou. Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul rece, gânduri nu mă lasă să.
So personally for me, I'm not hearing a massive difference. Maybe this is not the best vocal to do it on. We want something that has bigger changes in pitch. I'm going to keep it on for now because I'm not really feeling any difference. If it is making it 1% more natural, then that works for me. Now in the rest of the vocal chain, I've got this tape slap delay. I'm using the Master Tape Reflect here by Sound Toys. This gives it this nice wide feel. On the next end, I've got a reverb. First, I've got an EQ cutting out the low and the high frequencies going into the reverb. I'm using the Lexicon 224 digital reverb, which for me just sounds great on vocals. I'm then using an LA2A to really compress the reverb so there's no peaks coming through. It keeps it sort of really flat and long sounding, and a bit of OTT for expansion, which adds more decay in this contemporary and slightly synthetic way that I really like. And this is what it sounds like.
Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul rece, văd doar poza de pe birou. Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul rece, gânduri nu mă lasă să adorm.
Then to finish off, I've got a quarter note delay. I've got a channel EQ here, taking out some of those high frequencies. Again, going into the delay because they're quite fizzy and harsh. They interfere a little bit with the sound of the delay. And then I'm using this free plugin by Baby Audio. It's called Pitch Drift. So it's just bringing the echo, the delays, repeats in and out of pitch, which gives it a bit of modulation, which I like. And the most important part is this vocal ducking sidechain. So I'm feeding the lead vocal into this compressor. So when the lead vocal sings, the whole delay channel ducks. And then in the empty spaces, it comes back up in volume. And that's so the delays don't make the lead messy. Check it out.
Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul e rece, văd doar poza de pe birou. Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul e rece, gânduri nu mă lasă să dorm.
So before it sounded like this.
Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul e rece, văd doar poza de pe birou.
And now it sounds like this.
Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul e rece, gânduri nu mă lasă să dorm.
Time for the A/B test. But before we do that, it's important to say thank you to our sponsors, Boombox, for making these videos happen. If you make music, then you need to add Boombox to your toolkit. It's a place where you can share and store your files, add collaborators, timestamp feedback in text or in voice notes, which if you're a singer sending off vocals and you want to change a melody is super important. They also have a ton of incredible new features coming along, which are going to help support artists and make people like me and you have a more sustainable career in music. So sign up today. You get 4 gigabytes for free. You don't have to pay a penny if you don't want to. And if you want more storage, well, then you get 200 gigabytes for the price of a cup of coffee. I decided to A/B Logic's pitch correction against Autotune Access. So this is their cheapest Autotune, which I feel is most similar to the Logic pitch correction. I didn't want to get their super fancy, expensive Autotune because that didn't seem fair. I've set the settings to be pretty much the same. So really fast response time, neural pitch detection on. Here we've got the retune speed at fast, humanize off, so we're getting that Autotune feel. And there's a hidden setting in Autotune Access, which not a lot of people know. If you go on the settings and you choose choosy tracking to get even more of that Autotune and grabby feel, so it goes straight to the note rather than being relaxed. So listen out and let me know which one you think is which in the comments down below.
Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul e rece, văd doar poza de pe birou. Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul e rece, gânduri nu mă lasă să dorm. Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul e rece, văd doar poza de pe birou. Baby, when the night comes, mă simt prea rece, totul e rece, gânduri nu mă lasă să.
So what do you think? Did Apple make their pitch correction software as good as Antares Autotune? It's pretty hard to tell, but I want to know what you think. Make sure you write in the comments down below whether you think A or B is Antares or Logic's pitch correction. To be honest, I think it's pretty hard to tell. I'll be really impressed if any of you can. And I will reveal my answers on the Noize London and Boombox Instagram, so make sure you go and follow us in the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure as always. Welcome to Boombox, the home of collaboration. This is Noize London, and I'll see you very soon. Peace!